Hi everyone, this is Nuresh Mirani from nurestech.co.in. So today's topic is India, is it decoupling or outperforming the global markets? There has been a lot of discussion around this topic, whether Indian markets have started decoupling from the global market. So let us see what has been happening recently. So out here I've taken the three charts. The bottommost chart is Dow Jones, in the middle we have Nifty, and on the top we have BSE small cap. Now when you look at the arrows, Dow topped out somewhere in November, we topped out in October, November. Same way in December, Jan, almost the arrows are just a few days apart, the topping out. Even the bottoms in February, March are very similar, irrespective of Russia-Ukraine crisis. The same thing in April, same thing in May bottom. We almost bottom out around the same times. Same thing in June, almost by the same day. The top in somewhere in August as well as in September. Almost all the peaks, swing highs and swing bottoms have been around the same time. The only difference being is the magnitude is different, but the direction is similar. So would you call it decoupling or you will just call it outperformance? So that is what has been happening for the last 1 year. Dow Jones has fallen a little more than us. We've also fallen a bit. We've fallen 5%. Dow Jones has fallen maybe 10-12% in the last 1 year. So I would call this just simple outperformance and not decoupling. Now, let us go back to a period of time where we were actually something which people call it a period of time where we outperformed by a big margin, but we were still coupled. So this is back in 2005 to 2007. Between this 2004-05 period, in this whole rally, your Dow Jones went from 10,000 to say roughly 14,000. But in the same period of 2005 to 7, the Nifty went up from 2,000, 2,200 to almost say 4,500 to 5,000. So it was a doubler, but it was just a 40% move in Dow Jones. But even then, when you look at all the tops out here, say maybe this top in March 2005, this bottom in April 2005, or this correction in 2005, or this big correction in May 2006, you can see exactly the top happened almost on the same dates for Dow Jones as well as for the Nifty. The bottoms happened almost at the same time. The next bottom is also at the same time. This whole rally is very similar. The correction in start of 2007, the correction in the middle of 2007. If you look at those arrows, what do you see? The direction is pretty similar, but the magnitude is different. So what would you call it? Again, outperformance. So when was the time when Indian markets were decoupled from global markets? That was only for a short period of time in the end of 2007. Now this is where craziness was. If you look at this chart, you have Dow Jones at the bottom. In that period of October to December 2007, or say January 2008, Dow Jones was down 10 to 12%. The Nifty was up 20 to 25%. But the madness was the BSE small cap was up 50-60% in that period of time. It was up 40% in the last 2 months of 2007. So, and that was really for a small amount of time, and that's scary. So right now what we are seeing is, you could call it outperformance. Now in that 3 months of 2007, it was not just decoupling, it was almost an inverted correlation, wherein the Dow is down, the Nifty is up, the BSE small cap is all over the roof. So that's the scary part. We are way away. We are still very much coupled. So please do not expect that Indian markets will be decoupled in a big way. Yes, I do expect Indian markets to outperform. Now look at this chart, which is the ratio chart of Dow Jones by the Nifty. Now, for the last 10 to 12 years, the ratio has not ever gone up. Why? Because that is what it shows, that for the last 10-12 years, Nifty was underperforming the Dow Jones. So until now, we never worried about it because the whole direction was in line. Today, for the first time in the last few weeks, this ratio has broken out. This clearly tells you this is the first time our outperformance has come in for Indian markets after 10-12 years. The last time it did a similar 8 to 10 year outperformance breakout was back in 2005. And for the next couple of years, it was a super time for Indian equities compared to the rest of the world. So are we at a similar moment of outperformance? Is it a new era? Is it a deja vu 2005? Looks like, if we just look at the charts. So expect outperformance, but do not expect inverted correlations, inverse correlations, or a major decoupling of Indian equities with the global markets. Thanks a lot.